Now here's something that should be of great interest to anybody who enjoys a good story, but is also relevant to some of you who are just into the tech. It's an app that could have saved an explorer or two in their time of need. And it's one of those pieces of tech that is so simple, yet we don't see it everywhere. So why isn't this in all smartphones? Well, let me explain. This is Captain Pebble's talking compass, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It takes your phone and turns it into a talking compass. Okay, so you might be thinking right about now, great, another gimmick. But look, if you grew up watching shows like The Amazing Race, or even just played it on the Nintendo DS, you'll know how handy a talking compass would come in. It doesn't stop at just being a compass, either. You can get it to tell you the latitude and longitude, the sunrise and sunset times, the moon phase, and even the tide times for any location. And it's not a one-off thing. You can set it to constantly talk to you or just ask it questions whenever you want. So let's say you're out hiking and you get lost. All you need to do is launch the app, turn on continuous mode, and follow its instructions to walk towards magnetic north. It will then guide you, telling you when to turn left or right and how far away your destination is. In fact, it is more precise than a normal compass because it uses your phone's built-in magnetometer and GPS to work out where true north is. And because it's running on your phone, it doesn't have to worry about things like the elements wearing it down over time. So in theory, it's more reliable. It can even warn you if it detects that you are near metal that is messing with its readings. But what if you are not lost and you just want to know what direction a place is in? Well, simply tap on the screen and hold your finger down until you see the Find Destination option appear. From there, it's as simple as typing in the address, although do take note of these warning signs that appear when you are not in a suitable location for a GPS lock. You can also set the app to talk in different accents. You can choose between a gruff Scottish man, a smooth American lady, and my favorite, a posh British guy. And yes, I did spend way too long recording my voice for this video trying to make sure that mine was the one that got chosen. No dice. Maybe next time. And there's other settings you can change too. You can choose whether or not to use spoken directions or just vibrate your phone when it is time to turn. And you can set it to follow a certain tracking mode, whether it be for walking, driving, or whatever else. There is even a pro version which allows you to use it offline and track multiple locations at once. And by the way, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not. The free version requires you to pay attention to ads every so often, and the tracking feature doesn't work very well in this. I tried setting it to track both Newcastle and Edinburgh, but it just kept giving me directions to Newcastle. But then again, this is only meant to be a fun little novelty app. Not to mention it is incredibly useful for those who don't have access to a map, or who don't want to risk pulling out their phone to check it while they are out exploring. And speaking of which, I spent most of yesterday out exploring London with this app installed on my phone, and I have to say I had a lot of fun with it. Even though I didn't get lost, it was nice to hear someone else telling me which direction I needed to go in, especially when I had to run to catch the tube. I guess it's like having your own personal sat-nav, except with less of a focus on traffic. Although the way it speaks is sometimes a bit off. It is kind of like that moment when you are talking to someone and they say something that doesn't quite sound right and you can't help but repeat it back to them so they correct themselves. That happened to me a lot with this app. It's almost like it was reading out a sentence that was one word too long, like it was just a little bit off. And I know it sounds like I'm being overly critical of this app, but trust me, it's pretty good. It is actually one of the best apps that I have tested recently in terms of how many people will find it useful. I mean, you may not use it all the time, but it is the sort of app that you will download and install on your phone and forget about until one day you need it. And when you do, you'll be glad you have it. If you're still not convinced though, maybe seeing it in action will sway you. Imagine that you're in a city and you want to find the nearest pizza place. Simply open the app and type in pizza into the search bar. Then from the list of results, choose which one looks closest. Once you start walking towards it, the app will automatically give you directions without you needing to do anything else. If you'd rather have the information in written form, you can do that too. Simply tap on the screen to bring up the options and choose Show Text. This will show you the distance to your destination, the direction you need to walk in, and how far you've walked already. You can even use it to navigate your way home. All you need to do is click on your profile icon, scroll down to home address, hit set location, and then allow access to your location. Now, anytime you get lost, all you need to do is say, "Hey, Captain Pebble, get me home," and it will start guiding you back. There's also the option to import GPX files into the app, which is useful if you're planning a hike or bike ride. You can then follow the route, getting audio cues when you need to turn and how far the next waypoint is. And if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can even create your own routes and share them with others. I think this app is such a good idea because it takes advantage of something that all smartphones already have: the compass sensor. Some phones don't have a dedicated compass app, which is a shame because they can do a lot of cool stuff, like showing you which direction you're facing when you take a photo. This is actually really useful for photographers who want to make sure they are capturing a building or landscape the way they intended to. It is also useful for those who travel a lot and want to take a quick mental note of which way a road or river is facing. And while you're probably not going to use it all the time, it's nice to have it as an option, especially since most phones don't have a dedicated compass app, and that goes for Android and iOS, by the way. I actually found this app by accident when I was looking for something to entertain me during a long journey, and I couldn't believe that after all these years of having a smartphone, I hadn't come across it before. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it useful or at least entertaining. If you did, please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more, please consider subscribing. And if you want to hear more from me, please consider following me on social media. Until next time.